Oh, before the slog begins, for the retardos that's gonna comment, why aren't you on camera? Listen very carefully for the umpteenth time. I'm at my godmother's. She has very slow internet. I cannot use the camera at this place and then upload it. It's going to take 8 hours, 6 hours, 5 hours. I don't have all that time to be messing up on the internet, okay? I love each and every one of you. Boom, boom, boom. Sick as cats, sick as cats. Hello, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm hoping you having a blessed day. I'm hoping everything in your life is going okay. Because you want to know why? Because it sure as hell ain't for my ass. But anyways, I'm going to give you guys a couple of updates because I love you and you're my Siggy Niggy Army. I'm going to just tell you guys, I was a little nervous because I didn't think last slog was going to get to 3,000 views. It got to 3,600 in time, so that makes me very happy. You know what I'm saying? But on the flip side of that, why the hell is video slogs getting lower views than voice slogs currently? Oh, let me do my Poindexter.
It's because you're doing the same thing and it's getting boring, and you're banning everyone and you're blocking everyone. That's why.
I don't think so, because my slogs is growing in numbers. I'm just wondering why the last one. Maybe because it wasn't giving much updates. It was just me doing random shit. But anyways, I'm not really worried about it as long as we get 3 and 2K on the voice log. So if we get 2K, I'm fine. But let me tell you why I said that earlier before I start. I'm nervous that this channel gets the glitch. I am terrified and nervous that this channel gets the glitch. And if it does, I probably wouldn't even know it, because if the slogs decrease in numbers, it would mean people just getting tired of it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the problem when you don't know about certain things. So that's why I just said that stuff about the views. Because I know the loyal always watch my fat, black, ugly, coon face. And I appreciate you guys for doing that. So let me give you some 6 dates. Like that name, 6 dates instead of updates. I name everything off of my name. That is either very clever or very hacky. I'm drinking Fanta. I love Fantas. Them Fanta girls need to have a porno. You see, I need to be in charge of a porno studio. I can make some very good pornos. I'm telling you. I want to be a porno director. I do. I think I'd be good at it. They'll call me my porno name, because I would have to be in the videos as well, but not as a porn star. I won't be having sex with the dumb bitches because I don't want to catch an STD. But my porno director name would be Long Dong Siggers. Anyways, guys, good morning, everybody. Good morning. I just wanted to say that again because that sounded nice to say again. Let me give you guys some updates. Last log I said Toyota Camaro. I didn't know it wasn't no such thing as Toyota Camaro, guys. It's a Dodge Camaro, right? Or am I wrong again? I don't know names of nothing. I don't really know the names of cars. I'm not a car person per se. I just want me the car that is Bumblebee on the dang on Transformers movies. Because everyone has that car. So that's the car I'm talking about, that I want to be metallic purple with lights. Interior crocodile alligator. I drive a Chevrolet movie theater. Young folks are making many video responses to me and want me to look at their videos. Young friends and family of the Siggy Niggy Army, I am glad that you watch my entire slogs and leave comments, but I am getting an influx of young people wanting me to watch all their videos, and I am simply too busy answering emails and too busy because this internet stinks to be able to watch all your videos. I can't even watch porno currently. I'm having porn. Thank you, Facebook. I appreciate that, you loud piece of crap. I can't even watch my pornos right now. I'm having porno withdrawals. I am. It's like I am a heroin addict. I'm slamming my penis on top of things, trying to get a hit. It's not good. It's not good. I'm touching myself. I'm breaking out in hives. I'm hacking and coughing. Y'all think that's because I smoke too much. It's because I'm having porno withdrawals. The reason why I was so hot in the last log is because I'm having porno withdrawals. I'm telling you guys, it's a very bad sickness. And I need to have it get corrected. Now that leads me to my cuss out. I want us to cuss out Comcast. Everyone's getting on my last ass nerves. Comcast talking about I have to pay $199 to install my fast ass internet. I've told that I'm gonna cuss these people out. I told that young bitch, look, get your manager on the phone. I talked to 16 managers, and all 16 say I gotta pay $199. One guy said, we'll give you a phone line. You only have to pay about $20 a month, but that will make the $199 installation $30. So I had to do that. Now my internet bill is $145, and I'm going to have a phone line that I don't even freaking need. Also, people are asking me for shout-outs. Young guys, I give shout-outs to people that deserve it, not for people that ask for it. You asking for it, that means you don't deserve it. No disrespect, but I give shout-outs to young people that enjoys me and sees my slogs and talks to me in every slog. They get shout-outs. And I just talked for 7 minutes for no damn reason. So let's begin the slog. For realsies. Today we will be reading from my lovely coontastic autobiography or memoir or sigmoir or the book about my life. Spooning Ain't Easy, a Sigga's memoir. Now I've been reading the later chapters because I really don't want to read all of the book to you guys, because then there will be no reason for you to buy the book in the future if I read them all on YouTube. So just know that there's only going to be a few more I'm going to read, but I thought it would be nice if I go back to the beginning, since I didn't read none of the beginning. I started from chapter 10 on up, so I'll just read maybe chapter 1 and the introduction. Let me also just tell you guys, this book is, like my slogs in my life, very depressing, because it details the everyday of my life. The moment from my birth, and it's going to detail the moment to my tomb. It'll be released when I get big success and have my first HBO special. That's my plan. I want to make an audiobook of it. I want to do a lot of things. So hopefully I get famous so I can release this bullshit ass book. But until then, I'll read a couple of more chapters to you guys, beginning now. Doom doo 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 doo. I'm sorry. My friends, welcome to my hectic life. The story of a Siggy Niggy, written and read by a fat black nigga named Sigga. The introduction. Life is such a fucked up, magical, hateful, amazing place. You truly know when you look up in the bright blue sky, God built this planet. You just wish you could pull down some of that blue sky and kiss it, and take it home with you. Everything is so perfect and not at the same time. It is truly amazing. Life to me is a constant struggle, a battle of epic proportions with no end in sight. I love when the odds are stacked against me. It makes me feel that much better when I make it or when I fail at making it. Failing is such a hard task because what is fail? Because something did not happen as you see fit for yourself. You have failed? That is a tricky word. So is love. That word love got more niggas killed than AIDS in '82. Love got more niggas killed than a police officer doing a routine traffic stop on a group of niggas. Love. I used to hate that word. I know. I do love myself. I care deeply for my saga and myself, my ultimate destiny. Me, a man that has endured just about enough shit to make any other person crumble and put a shotgun round to their noggin. I was scared of love. So scared that any woman in my path that would even look at me for 10 seconds, I loved. I didn't know what love truly was. I misused the word. I used to not believe in love. I used to think of it as a word that causes pain and hurt. I still think that sometimes. But that isn't true. I love caring, to be honest. I love helping. And even though I know I can't save people, a part of me still thinks I can. I've been through so much shit that the devil should be scared of me. Introductions are hard because I do not know really what to say. I do not know if I am saying the right words at all. I try so many times to capture my life in tales. I mean, really, I am just 23 years old right now, and I'm already wanting to write about my life. I was 23 when you see, every year I reread the whole thing and update everything. So that's why I've been writing in this thing since I was 16, guys. Until now. I haven't done a recent chapter yet. I need to get on that. I want to get my story out as the world can see. I want the world, the fucking planet, to see me as who I see myself as. A great person that made many mistakes and lost many friends, but with the losses comes ultimate victory in the heart. It took a long time to care for myself. It took a lot of luck, a lot of friends, and a lot of support from my grandma to even make it this far. And let me not forget how God guided me. My life is a tragic tale. A story about a hero and his dealings with his family, friends, and women he loved. Down this road called Spooning Ain't Easy, I was not wanted at birth. Molested, arrested, hated on, left. This is a tale of a single person's lifetime struggles and accomplishments. I sometimes gaze at the night sky looking at the stars. Not much, but every couple of years I would. I wish for many things in my small amount of time here. I wished and I wished for so much. I'm glad that I somehow managed to survive this life. It isn't even close to being done yet. However, I am happy. Happy I survived the hard parts and the hard parts to come. Even though there are more hard parts to beat, I can hold my head up high. High as the brightest star in the most darkest of sky. Because I have survived. The struggle with myself is the hardest part of my journey. My ongoing battle with the demons of my past. They harass me. They stab me whenever I am happy, whenever I feel I have made it. They kick me in the nuts with steel-toed boots. On the ground, I look up to see the demons standing over me, talking to me in a quiet, evil, dark voice. You have expected your luck to change? Do you think I will leave you alone? I am your personal demon. When you are happy, I will make you sad. When you love, I will teach you to hate. It will never end. You are my bitch. I am your king. You will be beating to the point of no return. Look at me, DeAndre. Look at me. You are cursed until the day you die. That is the funniest joke in your entire bullshit act. Cursed. Sometimes I think that there is no such thing as curses. It is a tale made up by man to scare children. Do this or you will be cursed. However, as you read on, the things that happen to me are weird. How can so much happen to one individual without him snapping and murdering a church full of nuns? How somehow I haven't killed anyone. I almost killed myself though. I tried to end my life 4 times. Once I tried to stab myself through the chest with a sharp knife. I started to dig into my flesh until I saw a small little scratch surrounded by red. I said, oh my goodness, and ran into the bathroom, dousing my chest with alcohol as if I was on fire. The suicidal tendencies are a large part of my life. Being rejected made me want to end my life. Caring for a girl so much that mere thought of her not being in my life made me want to put a shotgun in my mouth, close my eyes, and pull the trigger slowly as I taste the rust of the shotgun barrel. Boom! Brain on the wall. Skull fragments everywhere. I am dead. Sweet, soothing death. I think about death. If I were to die right now, who would cry? Who would even come to the funeral? And just cry, cry, cry. A little depressing, I know. But hey, I just like talking about life. I always told myself, just keep going. Become famous. So when your journey is over, you can die. I wanted to die so badly. I once had a plan. I was going to get a job just so I can buy a gun and blow my brains out. My tale is a tale of heartache, mental illness, hatred for myself, the will to become more than a dude that jerks off 10 times a day. More than a needy man looking for a woman to love. More than a person that needs friends to be happy. I want to be more than who I was years ago. More, more, more. It is a long, scary road being me. Sometimes I cannot breathe. Sometimes I wish that was my last breath. However, there is always someone in my head telling me to go further. Just a little more. Further. Keep walking. I listen to that soothing voice. Close my eyes. And then pray. Pray for a better me. A better life. A woman, more friends, fame, support, a family, comedy. Most importantly, happiness. I am DeAndre Gary Siggers, and this is Spoon It Ain't Easy, a Siggers memoir. What you read now will haunt you. Trust me, none of these stories are faked. I can promise you of that. May God help all that reads this book, and help me for writing it. Chapter 1. Family Ties. I do not know much about my family. I only know what my grandma told me about the family. We have a big family, but more than half of my family I never seen. My family is almost all crazy. My family was not even Americans. We are from an island called Barbados. My grandma loved talking about how beautiful and lovely it was over there. I always thought, if it was so nice over there, then why come to polluted America? She told me the reason she came to America was to pursue her dream of owning a farm and raising a family. She was able to do that when she met Army Arthur, my step-granddad. My real granddad I never met. I don't even know the dude's name. He was my mother's father. My grandma and him broke up after my mother was born. My mom never forgave Grandma for that. She held a grudge. She even held a bigger grudge after Grandma married Army, my step-granddad. I really think of him as my real grandpa. I mean, he was the only nigga around remotely. Army and Granddad had kids. That sounded gay. Army and Grandma had kids. My Uncle Kevin and Brian, and got married. My mom didn't want them married. Mom wanted Grandma to marry her father, not Kevin and Brian's. My family moved from Barbados to New Jersey in the early 70s. Then after a couple of years moved to North Carolina to a big farm. My grandmother's dream came true. She raised animals and loved picking vegetables, fruit, until one day the farm burned down and my family moved to Houston, Texas. In Houston, that is when the real heavy shit started. My mom met a dude named Spencer at a party when she was 15. Let him fuck and got pregnant. 9 months later, my first sister came into the world, Elena Arthur. My mom was extremely rebellious, cussing out grandma and grandpa at the drop of a dime, banging all kinds of dudes, having miscarriages. Grandma did not know what to do. Uncle Kevin, the oldest boy in the family, and my mom always had fights with each other. Brian, the youngest boy of the family, was the one with his head on as straight as can be. He did drugs and was arrested a few times. But believe me, in my family, that is a blessing. After a while, my mom dropped out of high school and went through this program called Job Corps. Job Corps was a place people go that wanted to learn a trade and did not have a high school education. There, Mom met my father, Gary Seegers. They fell in love. Gary soon convinced my mom to run away from home with him to Tennessee. There, my mom would get pregnant and give birth to my second sister, Sharday Arthur. Soon, my mom found out Gary had been cheating on her and got another woman pregnant. My mom then ran away from him to Chicago. She didn't know she was pregnant with me at this time. After a couple of months in Chicago, she returned home with my second sister Sharday, my oldest sister Elena, and with me in her belly. She decided to stay married to Gary. There was supposed to be a fourth brother or sister and a fifth that never came. She died, miscarried, and the other aborted. After mom had me, Grandma made her get her tubes tied. Oh, I'm sorry. Not tied. Burned. Yes, tubes burned. And to think, if my mom would have had that child before me, I wouldn't be here now. Funny how life is, isn't it? After I was born, Mom gave me Dad's name as a middle name, Gary, and his last name, Seegers. She named me after some sort of mountain. She wanted my name to stand out, so she made it French with an apostrophe after the D and before the A. DeAndre Gary Seegers. After I was born, Dad and Mom would argue all the time. My dad would beat her up, push her around. It got to the point where they separated. I remember an argument they had when I was very young. I remember Grandma coming down the stairs telling Gary to calm down or he would have to leave. After my mom and dad separated, Mom would date other dudes. One of the dudes she dated was a big, tall, and fat dude named Chris. Very abusive. My sister Sharday was crying all day long, and he got so angry he smacked her with all the force and brought it down on the back of her head. It was like a punch with an open hand. Sharday was born premature, and as a result had a hard time learning things. It took her about 3 years to learn how to walk. Grandma worked Sharday's legs for a very long time, taking her to doctors and trying to help. Until finally Sharday started to walk. After my mom's separation from my dad and breaking up with Chris, she met a dude by the name of Ahmed Ajawa. He would soon become my stepdad and my greatest enemy. However, Ahmed did not want to be with my mom. She was still legally married to Gary. Therefore, Ahmed made this plan to get them divorced by taking divorce papers to my father, posing as a lawyer himself, telling my dad how he would lose all his money in court battles and never be able to see his kids again. Ahmed also told Gary that if he signed these papers now, he will not have to pay child support or alimony. But if he signs the papers legally, he will not be Sharday or my father anymore. Scared the courts will give all his $80 checks away, he signed the papers, and just like that, legally, I had no father. I was about 3 when this happened. I was told the last time I saw my father, I was with my Uncle Brian. I looked at Gary and screamed, "Are you my daddy?" "Yes, I am your daddy," he said back. After that day, I didn't see or hear from Gary until 14 years later. I even forgot he existed until I was around 9, maybe 10. After the divorce, my dad moved with his mom to Arkansas, and my mom, hating the responsibility of kids, wanted to give all her kids away. I was in a baby's carriage, and my mom told Grandma she wanted to give me up for adoption. I was 3 days old when this happened, before my parents had a divorce, before chaos, before everything. Grandma got mad and said she would care for me until my mom is ready to take care of her own responsibilities. Funny, I was the one that had to be given up for adoption. Not my sisters, but me, the only boy, the youngest. She wanted to give me up from birth. I didn't think my mother really loved me. Love isn't giving up your child. Love isn't abuse. Love is sticking with your child no matter what. At birth, I was a burden for my mother. I knew this. I understood this. And I accepted this. 3 years later, Mom gave Sade to Gary's mom to raise and gave Elena to her dad, Spencer, and his mother to raise. Well, not really give Elena to her dad, more like threw her to her dad. Yep, my mom hurled my older sister Elena to her father like she was a football. If Spencer were not a football player and agile, Elena would have hit the cement and splattered all over the ground, never to be heard from again. After Grandma began raising me, Granddad decided to move back to North Carolina again. Brian, Kevin, Grandma, and Grandpa and I left to a new city, Greenville, North Carolina. I remember my first time thinking. I was sitting with my back to our couch in Greenville, North Carolina. I raised my head up and looked at the TV Batman was on. He was on a taxi clean for life. I was amazed. I always loved Batman. He was my favorite superhero. He was just a normal man going out there whipping some ass, getting some pussy. My kind of lifestyle. After Batman went to a commercial, I got up and ran as fast as the wind into my grandma's room. She was reading a book. Grandma loved to read. I jumped on her, looked her in the eyes, and I said, "I love you, Grandma." She said, "I love you too," she said. Grandma is everything to me. She was always nice until you got her upset. Talk about a yeller. She could scream so loud. Niggas down the street needed to put something in their ears to muffle her screams. I remember we would go out every Friday to the mall and play games, eat hamburgers, buy stuff. By then, Grandpa suffered his first of many strokes. He was riding his bike and fell and busted his head. He was never the same afterwards. He was still able to talk and walk, but he was not as strong as he used to be. He would stutter sometimes and not be strong enough to walk like he used to. Grandpa was very old. He was like 20 years older than Grandma. Been married before and had other kids. One was my step-uncle Reggie, a big dude that had a stomach that looked like he was pregnant. My step-uncle Reggie, as I like to call him, was a mooch and a loudmouth. He is very rude and overly touchy-feely on women. I think he never really accepted Grandma as his stepmom, probably because they were nothing but 3 years apart. Hating Granddad a little for marrying a woman so close to his own age, it was hard for Granny to get respect from some of Granddad's family. She had to show them she wasn't a fling or anything like that. She did too. I respect my grandma. She's a very hard worker. I was outside in the backyard. There always used to be a bunch of old people sitting in big lawn chairs sipping on orange juice and liquor. One day I stood in front of all of them and just started to talk. I made fun of people. I was just talking, and they were laughing. I made fun of a boy with this truck. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that I was funny. I was about 5 or 6. A kid I later called the bully didn't like that I was getting that much attention. He hated it. So he waited until all the old ladies went into their homes and I sat in one of them big old lawn chairs, looking at the sky. I loved looking at the sky. I was eating some Cheetos, just relaxing, and then BANG! I felt a sting on the back of my head. I fell to the grass, covering my head with my hand. I pulled my hand back, looked at it, and it was covered in blood. I looked up, and it was the bully, the same kid I was making fun of with the truck. He thrown the bat down. It was a yellow bat he hit me with. He then took off running, and I started to cry until I heard a voice. Get your ass up. Why are you crying? I looked around, saw no one, and then I heard it again. Get your ass up. I listened to the voice, stumbling as if I was 76 trying to get some young pussy. Get over here. The voice was telling me to get this water hose and wash my head off. Then the voice told me to never tell anyone about what had just happened. I agreed. I didn't know at this moment was where I was starting to become crazy. At 5 or 6 years old, I started to hear voices. Days after I got my head busted, my mood and thoughts changed. I started to think differently, acted differently. I would imagine crazy shit. I would look at the sun and the sun would be dancing and the bugs in the window would be people. I never told anyone about the craziness I saw. I just hid it and slept with my grandma in her bed. Grandpa slept in my bed. Uncle Kevin had his own room and so did Uncle Brian. Soon I started to go to elementary school. I hated it. I remember crying my first day there because I could not show everyone my Fred Flintstone talking doll. Another time I accidentally spilled glue all over my penis, and when I went home all the skin started to peel off. I then looked down in my pants and the skin was falling off my dick. Grandma was pissed. She thought I had some sort of disease. Uncle Brian would bring his girlfriend over to our house. Her name was Rosa. She was sweet, kind, and had huge tits, or as I like to say, hobberknockers. She always talked to me in such a kind way. I really loved her. She was Brian's high school sweetheart, and was his sweetheart even after he entered the Army. Uncle Brian used to fix Jeeps in the Army. Anyway, Brian and Rosa got married, and Brian moved out the house. One night in the house, something woke me up, and when I looked, I saw Grandma was not there. I started to cry loudly. Uncle Kevin burst through the door screaming, "What the fuck is your problem?" "Grandma is gone," I cried. "So what?" he yelled. But, where is she?" I said. "In the hospital," Kevin screamed again. Soon, Uncle Kevin started to cuss me out as if I was a 34-year-old Irish waiter. After 10 minutes of my Uncle Kevin screaming, he finally yelled, "Put on some fucking clothes," and took me to see Grandma. I was too young to visit her, but I went to the hospital and she called me from her phone. And while I sat on the couch in the lobby, she told me not to be bad and to listen to my Uncle Kevin and that Brian would be there to pick me up in the morning. When morning came, Brian, Kevin, and I started to play with my water gun, shooting each other. It was so much fun until I was running and Uncle Kevin opened the door and BLAM! I hit my forehead. I started to cry. Uncle Brian ran into the living room. "What the fuck did you do, Kevin?" he yelled. Kevin said, "Nothing," shouting back. Kevin and I never really got along. We always disliked each other. He would buy a new comic book and I would rip it up. He would bring home a porno and I would pull out all the tape. He would seek Grandma's attention and I would scream so Grandma could pay more attention to me. I was a cunt. As I screamed, holding my pulsating head, Brian began to yell at Kevin louder and louder. Kevin and Brian then proceeded to push and shove each other until they ended up in the backyard. Then it happened. They began to fight. I was shocked, scared. Brian is much smaller than Uncle Kevin. Brian looked like Eddie Griffin. Kevin looked like a big giant. Soon, Uncle Brian was on the ground, and Kevin got on top of him and began to start to choke him. Brian was grasping for breath. I was scared. I started to yell, "Get off him! Let him go! Please stop!" As Brian stopped struggling and seemed to be passing out, Kevin let go. Brian hurried, got up, told me to get in the car with a drippy, bloody nose, and we left off to his house. I spent about a week at Brian and Rose's grandmother's house, sleeping in a long t-shirt. I looked like an effeminate transsexual, if that even makes sense. Soon I went to stay at a friend's house. His name was Tychicus. He was a year younger than I was. We played together all the time, pretending to be Batman and Robin and the Ninja Turtles. He had 4 older sisters, an older brother, and a younger sister. In addition, one of his sisters would touch me and feel on me sexually. I remember as if it was yesterday. She would ask me if I wanted to play a game. I always said yes. She would then take me to the closet, take off my clothes, and kiss on me. It gotten to the point where whenever I went to Ty's house, she would do this. I told Grandma about this, and she just thought I was telling some sort of joke. One day I had enough, and when she pulled me into the closet, I told her, "No, stop. I don't want to do this anymore." She got red beet angry. And to think about it, I wish I hadn't stopped her. I mean, look at me now. I'll pay a bitch $50 to kiss me like she did when I was 6 years old. But some part of me just thought it was wrong for me to do that, sneaking around, doing that in the closet. We stopped, and then she wanted to kill me because of it. One day I was walking by this giant hill by my house, and out of nowhere, like a ninja, she jumped on me and started to scratch my face. I then somehow got my foot up and kicked her off of me, and she went rolling down the hill. She was not happy. I had to stay there a few days at Ty's house because Grandma was in the hospital with a bad heart. I slept in a huge bed with Tychicus. The first few days was fun. However, I'm a grandma's boy, and I started to miss Grandma. I even once pictured the moon as her, as if the moon was her face. I cried so hard that night. Ty was trying so hard to calm me down. I wasn't having it. I was crying, and I somehow just fell asleep. Soon Grandma returned from the hospital and told me about Granddad walking miles even though he had a stroke to see her in the hospital. Soon kindergarten was over and I did not pass to the next grade. They said I was too immature. I always wondered how mature do I have to be to go to a grade where I wrote with crayons all day and painted. They were saying I was too slow to go to a grade where all I had to do was draw a turkey with my right hand. Anyways, one Saturday morning, Grandma, Brian, and Rosa went to the mall. Granddad was supposed to babysit me. Well, I wasn't a good little kid at the time. I cussed, I ran around the house screaming bloody murder. Grandpa tried to stop me, but I just shook my ass and cussed him out. I finished the day by pouring baby powder all over Granddad. As he sat down exhausted, Grandma came home, saw Grandpa was chalk white like a ghost, and lost her damn mind. "What?" she screamed at me. She whooped my ass like she never whooped my ass before and punished me, sent me to bed. I was crying for 2 weeks after that. After my punishment, I came into the living room and saw my grandma crying in her chair. I approached her and I said calmly, "What's wrong, Grandma?" She looked at me with tears in her eyes. "I have something to tell you, baby," she said in such a sweet, tender voice. "What is it, Grandma?" as I said, looking into her shiny eyes. "I just got off the phone with your mom, and she wants us to move to Houston, Texas to be with the rest of our family." She then asked me a question that I regretted for most of my life. She said, "DeAndre," softly, "it is your choice. What do you want to do?" And I said, looking at my grandma, "Well, Grandma, let's go. Let's move to Houston." And that's the end of chapter 1. So guys, I talked too much. I hope you enjoyed it. I stumbled a little bit because I'm reading a little too fast, so I can save up a little bit of time with the rendering and uploading. So I apologize. Hopefully the music wasn't too loud so you guys won't be too upset with me. Tell me what you think. It was only 11 pages I read, so I know it seemed long. I love each and every one of you, and may the beef jerky be with you. Please, God damn it, leave a comment. All right? Bye.